Welcome, my friends. We are in the old city of Jerusalem in Abu Shukri hummus place. Abu Shukri was one of the first family businesses to start hummus and to continue till today.
When Carnegie Mellon and both professors teaching the course approached me, I looked at what they were teaching and I was like, actually, this is very, very good. Because what they're giving these young students is an exposure to something they'll get nowhere else. Food allows you to talk about all the subjects under the sun without actually sounding like a straightforward political science class. You're not a straightforward history class. You're not a straightforward gastronomy class. It's a multidisciplinary approach to something that is quite rich.
This trip opens your eyes to a way of viewing the world that not many people are able to experience. Hearing different perspectives and hearing from different narratives, that's something that, and also sharing food, I think that's something that requires a sense of respect. That kind of shifted my perspective from just learning about it in class and then seeing it firsthand.
The Asif Institute was really fascinating, just as it felt like a vital place and a place filled with excitement that was really acknowledging of how Israeli cuisine is pulling from everywhere. Every time we were given a dish, they were like, this is a Yemeni dish, this is a Palestinian dish, this is a Moroccan dish. I think that there was a degree of complexity there in terms of the Israeli narrative that was really exciting.
I think my implicit and subconscious expectations were challenged when I came here, namely the way that the dichotomy people often imagine between modernization and adoption technology and the preservation of culture. It was so much present that it even surprised me, because the way they would always receive us nicely and insist on giving us food.
The day I enjoyed the most was in Bethlehem with Fadi. Just going around to all of the different places that he shops at while he was getting ingredients to make us a meal in the evening. That gave me a really nice sense of the community.
The time when we went to a man's house and he was talking about his two sons that were killed in the IDF, I think that was very real and meaningful, because in the end, mothers and fathers are losing daughters and sons. So whether you're Israeli or Palestinian, I think him, despite losing two sons, wanting peace, that meant a lot. I think that will stick with me.
Crossing the barrier into the West Bank, I didn't really know what to expect, but I think having Fadi with us and having someone to show us that Palestinians are not the poor, miserable people, and having them talk about their stories made it feel a bit less like we were just taking from the place and more about learning from the culture and trying to understand how we can bring that back to, I guess, our own lives and our own college, and how we can share that with the world.
I think most people here are really having the time of their lives, just because of all the unique experiences that we've been able to have here, between the people we've been able to meet and the places we've been able to go that most people either aren't able to go to or don't know about.
On behalf of Iran and Kibbutz Israel, I welcome you here. Kibbutz Israel, the kibbutz itself, is a commune. We live here together. Iran wanted to show you the kibbutz so you could see a kind of settlement in Israel that is very, very similar to the prophecy of having peace and heaven in Israel.
This is the lemon without seeds. Without seeds, this is the best lemon here in Israel. Mango, mango, mango. Lychee, bananas, orange, red orange, clementina, pomelo, guava, grapes, strawberry, because yeah, we have there a little one, and this is this is the star fruit. Yeah, you call it star fruit. Yeah, it's the best.
My expectations culturally have shifted a lot, seeing things firsthand as opposed to reading kind of, articles or academic papers where everything feels a little bit more sanitized. Also, it just brings a lot more like human perspective into it. It was the voices of the people that really helped, bring everything to life.
Coming into this trip, I'm a Korean American. I knew nothing about this area, and no one here looks like me. And so, little did I expect when we were in Sebastia, for me to be singing the lyrics to a Scorpion song with one of the local older gentlemen. He whipped out his phone and showed me his playlist, and he's like, "Do you know the Scorpions?" I was like, "Of course I know the Scorpions." That's the music my father listened to when he came to America, and he fell in love with that music. So in many ways, I felt so connected to him.
It was really pivotal when I was in Bethlehem. I had never seen the tourism taken out of a marketplace. It was people shopping for their daily lives, what was important to them, what was, I guess, crucial for their interpersonal relationships, how they would walk through the market. You saw the bread maker making the bread fresh on the stones, and him telling the story about how he gives the bread out to people who can't pay for it yet because everybody deserves bread. Or the woman who had all her herbs and she was just kind of sitting there and she tossed us all pea pods and she was like, "Yeah, go ahead, come eat." And Fadi was just like gathering the chamomile and the za'atar, and people were just stopping and asking, "Who are we? What are we doing here?" Or even in the butcher shop. So then they take their racks of lamb and meat outside and they start chopping them. But you can kind of see every single walk of life, and there were little kids running about with their school backpacks. There were, parents doing their grocery shopping. There were people that were just sitting and talking. I think it's like a center of a lot of activity.
It was a great opportunity to actually see what's going on here, hear from the people who are here, and I don't think there's anything that can transform your perspective about the conflict more than that. Something else I didn't expect was how much hope for the future there is on both sides. I do feel like there is a lot more willingness to accept the narrative of other people.
What do I get out of it? You cannot imagine, and I don't think I have the words to tell you how enriched I feel every time one of these young students is walking down a Palestinian street and absorbing the actual landscape, listening to people. We've met quite a few people of very different backgrounds. They're getting to live this experience. And I think it's something that they will keep all along their lives. They'll never forget this. And that is extremely rewarding.